Chimera in Duel Links is a strong meta contender, which is no surprise given how the deck was really good in the TCG, and in Duel Links they gave the deck all the important bits apart from Guardian Chimera. Hello, I hope you are having a perfectly balanced day. Today's video will show you a deck profile followed by gameplay, and there will be more to come alongside TCG and Master Duel, so consider pressing the big red button and leaving a comment down below. But with no further ado, enjoy! For an optimal build, you want free apprentice. But if you are like me and don't want to get free, then one works fine too. Essentially, if you have more copies, that is what the extra 2 slots in the deck are for. The skill is not as insane as some other skills, but is still very good. We can use it to add Chimera Fusion and dump Nightmare Magician, and to spawn the base fusion monster. Chimera is a fusion deck, but it is able to easily link summon, in addition to summon rank 4 and rank 6 monsters. Duel Links is the only version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Beatrice is not banned. In TCG, OCG, and Master Duel, this card is forbidden. Beatrice does a lot for this deck, because we have 3 different level 6s with which to make her. And sending anything to the graveyard in both turns enables some cool toolbox options. Often on your turn, what you are sending with Beatrice and or Birthmet is Tau to Reborn or Vision Resonator, which gets you into the trap. Some people don't play Crimson Gaia, but I like how this card can also add from graveyard to hand. The other card we send in our own turn is Invader of Darkness, which we use to reborn with this card to lock them out of quick play spells. This is amazing against Despia and Sky Striker. In the opponent's turn, we have Father to be sent with both Baphomet and Beatrice, and Tackle Crusader to be sent with Beatrice. Against Despia, when they use the field spell, you can use Tackle to bounce back Theatre, and they cannot activate it again that same turn. Branded in red and Theatre are their 2 ways of fusion summoning, meaning that Invader plus Tackle on Theatre locks them out of fusion summoning entirely. You can also play Aerial to send with Beatrice, but since it is not a beast, fiend, or illusion, it is a brick that you do not need. I recommend that you play a card for piercing damage, as smart players will put their monsters in defense mode to make it harder to OTK with our boss monster Illusion Beast. Pentastag gives the monster underneath it piercing, and is pretty easy to make. Or the option I prefer is Camelump, because you can search it with Big Wing, as it is a level 4 beast. It also reduces their board by 800, making it easier to OTK. We play a few tech cards with Radiant, since it is a fiend and lets you easily OTK with Illusion Beast, and Mind Control, as you can spawn your Chimera with a skill, Mind Control their monster, and ladder up into Nightmare Phoenix. Phoenix is great removal, since it is a fiend to fuse off, and for a similar reason, I play Unicorn. The Underworld Goddess is a nice toolbox option to have, and the other cards in the extra deck feel fairly standard. Since I only played 2 Chimera Fusion, I do not think a 5th fusion monster is required, even though this deck can be quite grindy. Given the playstyle of this deck and the current meta, keep in mind that games do not often go beyond turn 3. Enjoy the gameplay. So for this first replay, we have a game going first against Despia, and Despia is a deck that you know you are playing against because the skill activates at the start of the game. So we're going to go use the skill, put back, add fusion, dump magician, use fusion, fuse these off and make the hand rip one. Use Gazelle as well, grab the apprentice, How about Fusion? We can pitch Camelot because we're going first. As Sword Knight. Go into the Beatrice, normal Sword Knight effects. Dump Summon. Because we don't mind getting locked at this point because we don't make Dweller in this matchup. We go for the Invader of Darkness instead. So go into Birthmet. And Big Winged Reborn Magician. This can then dump as well. Dump the Invader of Darkness. Get the Crimson Gaia for an extra layer of protection, which is useful in case they chain Droplet or something to the Beatrice. And in their turn immediately, we do this in a draw phase to Reborn Invader, because if we let them go to main phase, they can just activate Branded in red. There's an argument to not use the hand rip effect as well, because if you hand rip, say, a Despia name, and they have Branded in red in hand, then that can be a pretty big punish. But otherwise it's fine to hand rip if you're lucky enough. And then now they cannot activate any quick play spells, which means no Branded in red. And also means no Branded opening either. And also no Droplet. The Droplet would have been chained to the Beatrice. And they go Theatre, we go Tackle, bounce it back. And they cannot activate it again this turn. So now they are completely locked out of their fusion plays for this turn. And there we go. A very simple and easy way to win against a tier 1 deck. We have another game against Despia here. This time we are going second though. We grab the Theatre. We're opening Pitch Summon. Going to establish a pretty normal end board here of Masquerades plus Branded Red set with the Dramaturge on the board as well. Our priority here is clearing this in as little activations as possible, which normally you just do by fusing it into the Birthmet and dumping Farther. We hard drew Farther in this hand, so we can just go Apprentice and discard it. And now that we dealt with this, the next thing to consider is the Quiritis. What we did here is I used Coatl and then flipped up this, so that now the first thing they have that targets we can immediately negate with Coatl. And then yeah, we're going to be considering the Quiritis here, which can reduce the attack of most of our monsters to 0. Yeah, Dramaturge isn't doing too much here, because if they hold it for too long, we can just negate it with Sword Knight as well. And now we can just hold Sword Knight for the Quiritis as well. Go to Phoenix, Scarpage Fist, we're going to chain. We go into Venom here, I believe, not into Quiritis. And that's fine, because they are correctly summoning in defense, as they should. But we do have access to our Piercing card. The Performer Power Camelot. That's going to allow us to win over this defense mode Aliber. It's very good because the Illusion Beast, our boss monster, no matter if it's attacking a defense mode monster or an attack mode monster, it cannot destroy the monster in battle, and it can attack at least twice. So you can do some crazy damage by doing Piercing, some very, very big damage plays. And there we go, that is how to win going second against Despia. We've had some pretty quick games in the gameplay today, but that is just the nature of this deck and this format. Chimera can be quite a grindy deck. It has a pretty good grind game with all of the grave effects, recursion and whatnot, but the format is quite fast paced, so don't expect many games to go beyond turn 3 or 4. Going first this time. I wanted to showcase this because this is a example of how to make a board with Dweller, as opposed to against Despia where you go for Invader of Darkness. So this line is more ideal against a deck like Shadow or Speedroid. So I'm going to reborn Makawata with Big Wings because it's level 4. Add that fusion, pitch Sword Knights, another Sword Knights, and then we can now dump Tau with Beatrice to then reborn with Sword Knights. And yeah, go into the Dweller, Sword Knights, and because Birth Net locks you for the rest of the turn, we can do this at the end of our combo. Go into the Birth Net, can dump the Vision, go get Gaia, or if you don't play the Trap, you just go Vision, add Trap here, but I quite like playing Gaia. Gaia isn't a bad brick either, which is quite nice. You can also Dweller here, depending on the matchup. Like, if you're against Shadow, you can Dweller before you hand rip if you're scared of an effect in the hand. That is an option that you have there as well. They go Chain Droplet on Dweller, which is actually really good there. Skill, add Turbo. Some of them Terratop effects. Read the game at the Sword Knights. Normal summon and search, and I do not interrupt them here because the Link 2 is not on summon, so we can let them use both bodies, commit both bodies into the Link 2, and then it feels more like a 2-for-1 with Farther this way. There you go, Farther, banish it, get rid of it. Okay, effectively reborn, and now I can go ahead and get rid of this so they can't make Kite Drake. I go up into the level 10, but at this point I have too many resources, doesn't matter. Like, you can use your grave effects here, but there's no point in it because we know all the cards they have. We have perfect information, so we can just let them play, and then on our turn we can just go for our boss monster, the Illusion Beast, and that will be game over the Link 2. It is a good thing with Farther as well, is that Farther returns the monster in the end phase, so when you use Farther defensively, it then brings back that small monster in the end phase that you banished, which ends up being a massive portal into their life points. And there we go. Thank you all for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and or found this video useful. Have a perfectly balanced rest of your day, and yeah, adios. Want to be a pro at the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG? If you are one of the first 100 to use code BALANCE100, you get your first month in this MetaFi community for free. As part of this, you get personalized deck building help with a 24/7 deck doctor, meta breakdown videos, Q&A, and more. You also get a big discount on any additional content. So all you have to do is make your account on MetaFi, then when you go to subscribe to research a tier, just enter the promo code BALANCE100. But make haste, because this trial month only works for the first 100 people.